Lovely afternoon to you, wherever you are. Good afternoon and welcome to the program Midday Discourse right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. On today's edition of the program Midday Discourse, we are looking at agriculture and, of course, the national call for all to go back to the farm. We shall be looking at what individuals and organizations are doing to increase food production in Nigeria. We are fully aware of the hardship and the increase of a shortage of food available in the country. This and many more, we will be having answers to this. We'll be joined by Professor John Kennedy, the Managing Director of CSS Group Company. He will be telling us what his organization is doing to help reduce this crisis in the country and put food on the table. On today's edition of the program, Meet the Discourse on Global TV, right here in Abuja City. Wherever you are, good afternoon. Let's take a break, and hopefully when we come back, we'll be joined by Professor John Kennedy. Of course, he is the Managing Director of CSS, a group of company where they are working to increase the production of food, livestock, and all that you need to know to ensure that Nigeria comes out of this great problem. Don't go away. This is Meet the Discourse right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. Welcome on board. Good afternoon and welcome to the program Meet the Discourse right here in Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. On a beautiful day like this, we are on the route to ensure that there is food on the table. And I'm glad to let you know that I have my guest already. Professor Kennedy Okpara is joining us right here in Abuja, in his farm precisely. Professor, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Clinton. How are you?
Hello, Prof. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Prof. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So how are you, Prof?
I'm doing great. We thank God.
Okay, Prof, let's go. Many of us thought that you are on sabbatic, but available report shows that you are contributing tremendously to the country, talking about food production, which is a major challenge to many of us now. Tell us how you are doing this magic, Professor.
Thank you very much, Clinton. People can stay off work. People can stay away like that, but you can't stay without food. Food is something fast. We must break the fast. So I decided that this is a challenge and there's a need for us to meet the gap by the mercy of God.
Professor, you have a very big size of agricultural farm. Tell us the various types of agriculture that you are doing, Professor.
Mercy of God, we have over 1,750 hectares of land where and we're also into poultry. We're also into grow vegetable in 21 days using water. We also have animal milk the cows, and then they grow and fatten the goats and sheep. We have also the processing arm of our business, where every single thing we produce here, we process. And as model is very unique. The waste product from our poultry serves as the manure for growing the plants or growing the crops. And then when we harvest it, we process it, package it into feed for fish, feed for the birds. So it's a cycle. For the soya bean, we harvest and process into soya oil, the sludge, soya cake, and soya milk, which is used in making biscuits and other things. So what we do here is what I call integrated farming. Every department in the farm is a raw material to the other department. And we have what I call waste to wealth. Every waste product we have here is recycled, and we use and produce something tangible like pepper crates and the orange orchard and we have here. We process and package fresh orange juice, no preservatives. We produce water, and we produce quite a number of things. Corn flour, rice flour, we produce beans flour, we produce honey, so many products, ginger, turmeric powder. We have quite a lot of them, and I can show you something like this. These are rice flour, as you can see. We produce in this place, and we have beans flour. We also produce here. Every single thing we produce, we process and package, and then we have our unripe plantain flour we make here from the soil here. This is very unique because it is organically produced. We don't use chemical. Look at our honey and so many other things. Look at the soya oil that we produce here from the farm. See the way they use it, just straight to the kitchen. So we do quite a lot from the farm alone. Every day we are doing over 3,000 crates of eggs, and we have the facility to produce 10,000 birds, process 10,000 birds in a day. So we are doing quite a lot, and by the mercy of God, to make sure we can reduce the food scarcity, we can reduce the cost of food items in the country.
Is passing through one of the most toughest time, and many believe that there is food shortage in the country. But from what you are saying, it looks like if given the opportunity, your farm can be able to provide enough for Nigeria. Let's just look at the overall production of all this that you have been talking, Prof. Where is the farm situated, and how soon can we start having the food on our table, which is a major challenge now, Professor Kennedy?
Thank you, Clinton. As I'm speaking to you, our farm is in Gora in Nasarawa State. And I can tell you, honestly speaking, the food security and sustainability is something we can conquer in Nigeria. I tell you, I give you statistics. Do you know that Nigeria is a nation blessed with 40 million hectares of land? If you take 1 million hectares of land and plant maize, and if we're able to harvest, say, 5 tons per hectare of maize, that is from Nigeria current of maize in Africa. But we are consuming of maize. So that unless we address this to go into farming, we will not sustain. It's a nation of 23,003 million hectares in total export in agro at $16.5 billion US. back to Israel, goods worth 3.5. Their currency is very strong. Of what you export is far. Your currency will be stronger. Today is $1 to 3. Struggling with naira. Why? There is. So we need to encourage people together, harness the resources, can actually feed the entire. They are not pushing out. So I want to say that the problem we can overcome is something that God and conquer. God cannot come down, have capacity to solve. Look at fish, for instance. Nigeria as a nation consumes about 4. And we are producing less than 1 million metric tons of fish. Why? We have challenges of water, but I was doing a study. I discovered Lagos State alone can recycle the 360 that passes the state every day. Just take a few percentage of that and see what we get. Israel's water is 90% recycled. We can recycle water here. So, beyond what we are seeing now, when we go massively into agriculture, we will not only zero food scarcity, we will be able to export what we produce, we'll be able to earn foreign money, and our economy will be strong, and the value of our naira will be strong. Look at, for instance, yam. Nigeria, by the mercy of God, is the highest producer of yam in the whole world. 76% of what the world consumes comes from Nigeria. Yet, if you look at the list of exporting nations of yam, Nigeria is not even from number 1 to number 20. Ghana is Nigeria by far. But today, Ghana is the world's largest exporter of yam. Last 2021 and 2022, Ghana made 38.5 million US dollars only from yam export. Friends, where are we? This is a giant of Africa. And yet we are not in control. I want to encourage everyone, encourage the government, the state government. Let's stop looking at the oil. Let's begin to look at the soil. In my farm here, we got 5 tons per hectare when they made. State governors can replicate this in their states. This will cushion the effect of hunger, the effects of scarcity. Today, there's pain, there's anger, and God has given us the power to solve this problem. Why don't we come together and solve this problem by ensuring there's enough food on our table to eat?
Professor, there is some section of the country is demanding for the importation of food in the country. What's your take on that? Looking at the harvest you have and then government going to import food, will that go down well with you?
Honestly speaking, that is not a solution. I think we can suffer now and gain tomorrow. If there's no pain, there's no gain. Rather than using that money to import, for example, a bag of rice outside this country will cost more than $60, $70. If you multiply it, that will put the price of rice almost 100 something naira. How is that going to help you? If you want to buy a bag of maize, it's not going to cost you less than $30 or $40. Then if you multiply it by our currency today, that will give us 60,000, 70,000 naira. So how would that help you? Rather than spending that money to import food, let government encourage individuals in farming, encourage state government to say, each state governor, each state government, how many hectares are you farming? Government can provide us with the equipment, the implements, and the premium seeds, and people will go into farming in less than 1 year. And I can tell you, food will be everywhere. Look at our farm here. We produce 3,000. It can go nowhere. You look at the crowd, you look at the people you have to meet. So suppose we have many people who are The cause of unemployment, the cause of insecurity today is because of unemployment. Why don't we get the youth of this nation, train them? Here we train youth, here we empower youth, where we help them. So when we finish training them, farming, if we train these unemployed youth and empower them, I can tell you, insecurity will be a thing of the past. Every state, every local government, every side to defend their own communities. And they can only defend it if they're empowered. So I am production of food, not importation of food. Importation of food will give you just a shot to be high. You're talking of the dollar getting up to 1.5 or 1.6 or whatever they say it is today. I don't have business with it. If you want to bring down the value of your dollar, it has to be through export. We must export what we produce, then we earn more foreign currency. No matter the pressure government puts on the system, any money, you cannot reduce strengthen the value of your currency. So I don't believe that we should import. Believe rather, let's see what we can harness. Let's see how we can come together and improve our system. Thank you.
Mr. Okpara, let's get to know the system that you are using to encourage the youth, because most youths are finding it difficult to identify with agriculture. What secret are you employing that is giving you this massive harvest that you are sharing with us? Because the youth must be playing a vital role. So how are you keeping them?
Thank you very much. In our farm, the training facility we have here, we make men and women. And after training them, I tell you, when they go out there, they are able to perform. Our facility is like a 4-star hotel where we on some project with some governors. I want to commend my friend, the governor of Oyo State, Sheyi Makinde. We signed an MOU. We started the process and we trained quite a lot of them, and he encouraged them, empowered them, and today they are doing very well. So the same thing we did with my friend Governor of Bauchi. We have done for the Abia and Co. And the summer is still coming, and we are looking forward to train many more. We told them in this farmer no, there's a potential God deposited in them. Until you discover the gift God has placed in your hands, you cannot you deploy it. So we in this farm, we are able to bring out the best in them. We share them into different sections. Some of them go into fishery, some go into poultry, some go into open field system, some go to hydroponics, some go to greenhouse. And we serve as their off-taker. So the experience here is quite joyous. And when they come, they're excited because they are giving back to the society what God has given to us. And I want to say, this is the best way to go. Unemployment can be reduced to the barest minimum by creating a platform to train. When you train them, they will discover themselves. When you train them, they discover themselves, and you empower them. When you empower them, they go out there and they will start employing. Of Nasarawa, we did an experiment with some team of youth, and he was close. In fact, he was touched by the testimony they gave. They only spent 2 weeks with me, and their lives changed. Their lives were transformed. So many states. So I am encouraging the chief executives, you people, equip them. The hour of sharing handout in terms of money is over. In the Bible says there was a time money fell in Egypt. And that's what we're experiencing in most countries today. Money is failing. But I can tell you, if people are productive, if people are creative, I can tell you they can change the landscape of the entire nation. The picture we did not capture, we cannot hold. Future. When we picture your future, begin to work with it, and you will change the entire nation. Thank you, Clinton.
Yeah, Professor, let me find out. At what point will you say you have, let me not use the word arrive. At what point will you say you are at the peak of your harvest for Nigerians?
Thank you very much. My vision is clear. By the mercy of God, I want to see every state of the federation have a grain reserve center. If I can establish that through the training of these men and women, I can tell you, I will look back and say, God, I thank you, because it is possible. Benue State is the largest market for yam. If I'm able to work with the government of that state and establish a yam reserve center, and states, nations can go to that place and buy yam, I will say, God, I'm made. If I can establish a place in Ebonyi, rice paddy, the same thing in Abia, you have a center, a food reserve center where people can go, let's go and get grain, let's go and get rice paddy from Ebonyi, get from Abia, get rice paddy from Jigawa. I will say, God, I thank you. Every state of the federation, we must work in such a way to establish something. If I can say in the Southwest, I have established a place where they can get coke, we have done well. If I can look at the South and say, in Bayelsa, for instance, I've established a center where we can package processed plantain, and then plantain can be exported after serving Nigeria, I will be a happy man. This is my own vision, and I want to accomplish it with the help of the state chief executive. We can start small. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. The world is waiting for us. We are sitting on a platform that God created for us that can help us remove poverty. I'm so happy to let you know that God only provides prosperity in scarcity. If Egypt did not have hunger, if they did not have famine, if they did not have economic crisis, people like Joseph would have been made prime minister. And that's how Joseph started. And with all sense of humility, God has deposited in each state of the federation. Why don't we tap from there? I was just trying to study something about the rice paddy. Do you know Nigeria is the highest producer of rice paddy in Africa? We are doing almost 9 to 10 million metric tons of rice paddy. But we are consuming almost 15 million metric tons of that rice paddy. And with what we are producing, the gap is so huge. And I discovered on a study that if I take 25% of the recycled water in Lagos alone, I will be able to get 80% of the shortfall. If I increase it to 50%, I'll be able to have surplus of rice paddy. So meaning that Lagos can actually give us that. We need to encourage our people. The state governors are doing their best, but I want to say, let's shift the post and begin to look towards agriculture. Just like what my friend Makinde is doing, just like what Bauchi is doing, just like what so many others are doing. My brother in Abia, we are just starting now. You see, we must revolutionize agriculture to give Nigeria a facelift. And I can tell you, quote me, if we go into this massively, in less than 1 year from now, there will be a U-turn. Nigeria economy will be the strongest in Africa.
Let's take a break. When we come back, though. Glad to have you back on the program Midday Discourse right here on Global TV, coming away live and direct from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. We are finding a lasting solution to what many have described as food insecurity in the country, hardship, and very, very expensive. But we have a man who says he is doing everything possible to ensure that Nigeria export food to neighboring countries and, of course, to Africa, and that would be a career for many youth. I'm talking about the former executive secretary of the Christian Pilgrimage Board, talking about Professor John Kennedy, here with us in the program. Professor, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Clinton.
All right, Prof, let's go straight to business. You've talked about the availability. We want to find out, are some of these products already in the market to help cushion this shortage of food in the country? Where can we find them in the open market? Or are you doing it only for the elite? Can the common man in the street identify this product and get them cheaper? Because from mass production, I know you are a man of God, your goods will be a little bit affordable.
Thank you very much. The products are everywhere. As a matter of fact, I have mandated the marketing team. We are doing a promo where we are crashing the prices of rice, price of our products, the ginger powder, the turmeric, the plantain flour, corn flour. We are doing a promo to crash the prices. And as I can tell you now, we also have a place in Sokoro where you can find our products. We also have in some supermarket like Dunes, ShopRite, and other supermarkets, and above all, in our customer experience center in Gora here. So many people come to buy our product, and we also have in Lagos where we send our rice. I've tried to bring down the cost of rice because, honestly speaking, the greatest thing we can do to the poor masses is to make sure we crash the price of our food products because it is not easy for them, and we are bent on making sure people can access our food products. We also online, CSS, farms.ng. We online, you can make orders online. They deliver to your houses. You can also contact us at the 20 Thomas Sankara at Sokoro, and so we are doing a lot to make sure that people can access what we are producing. We are not limiting it here. Our feed, for instance, is one of the affordable feeds for poultry, and we are sending it all the way to Port Harcourt, the north, everywhere in Nigeria to make sure we crash the prices of some of the commodities that we have in the market. It's not
Prof,
easy.
I've just got a question from somebody, Prof. Yeah, Prof, can you help me? Somebody just said I should ask you, what is the cost of the price of a bag of rice from your farm, Prof?
Today now, we are doing about 63,000 naira for a bag of 50 kg rice because paddy suddenly went up. But before now, we're doing 48,000, 45 to 50,000. But because of the cost of paddy on the pressure, that's why the price went up a little bit.
Yeah, Prof, there's an area we are looking at. I'm sure you've not talked more about that, water. Are you aware that a sachet of what we normally call in the street pure water now goes for 50 naira, Prof? One sachet is 50 naira.
50 naira is terrible in our, you can see this is the water we produce, the CSS water. We crashed the price of water today. We are doing about 300 naira per bag of sachet water. So that brings it down. I think a bag has about how many? 20. So that means that they can get water from CSS as low as 25 naira per sachet. So we are crashing the price of this thing because we want to make sure that Nigerians can have access to water, to good food, and most of the products we have here are organically grown. What do I mean? We use the waste from our poultry to grow them. Like our turmeric, our ginger is the best you can get. So we are doing our best to bring down the cost of food products.
Yeah, Prof, where, as a nation, where did we actually get it wrong? Where we did start to where we are now? Where did we get it wrong, Prof?
Thank you very much. Honestly speaking, I have had the privilege of serving 4 presidents in this country, and I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, the challenge we have now did not start with the current president, and only him cannot solve the problem. First is that we got it wrong with the oil boom. We left the size of our land, the land mass of Nigeria, 40 million hectares of land, is about 20 times of Israel. And yet, Israel as a nation is exporting agriculture, raw products, processed and unprocessed. But here we are not exporting. Apart from individual, like in my farm, everything we produce here is ISO certified, so we can actually export, and it's well packaged. If you see our products, it's like foreign products. And so now we need to leave the oil sector alone. Go back to what we have. I give you an example. If every Nigerian can decide to grow fish at the back of his house, the fingerlings we produce here is less than 50 naira per one. And you can put like 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, 5,000 in different containers. And you grow this fish to 2 kg. Today, you see how much you will make. Nigeria consumes 4.5 million metric tons, and we're importing 8 million euro worth of fish from Norway. Norway is a small country, just like a state in Nigeria. So why do we need to do that? If every one of us can start growing, then you have at the back of your house space. You can even do a point of lay. You can even do broilers at the back of your house. Start with 100, 200 birds and see how it grows. Every day you have egg. You have egg to sell. I can tell you, my brother, people will become responsible. Responsibility comes with the possibility. God has given us the responsibility and the possibility to make it this year. So we need to tell ourselves, look, it is time to move this country forward. All we need is for them to provide equipment, and people can hire, they can rent and clear their land. I went to speak at the university at the 31st and 32nd convocation, Federal University of Technology, Mina. And I told them, you are sitting on a land of 10,000. Assuming you harvest maize or plant maize for this 10,000 square kilometer of land, and you are getting 5 tons, you will have 50 tons of maize. And that will give us almost 1,600 trailers of maize. A trailer of maize for more than 20 million naira. The universities have no business going back to government to ask for money. Let every university, like every state, be known for something they produce. And I can tell you, we will change the narrative. We cannot be the enablement to be able to employ themselves or employ other people to work, not to graduate people to look for a job. I don't graduate people from this center to go and look for a job. I graduate you, you are empowered to start something for yourself. That's where we are going. We got it wrong by putting our mind and everything on oil, but the time have come. No matter how long you travel, make a reverse. I always say to people, if you know where you're going, you will know where you end. And if you know where you're going, you don't need to look for the road. And we have discovered where we are going as a nation. If we know, we must begin to run to get there. When you are traveling on a journey, not everybody you meet at the airport is going the same way you are going. Some are not traveling. Some people are there to announce the arrival of flight. If you follow those people, you will miss your flight. Unless Nigeria key in and begin to harness what God has blessed us with, we cannot get out of the mess we're into.
Prof, you've talked about people going back to farm. Let's look at certain policies from government. Has government policies been good enough to encourage people back in farms, Prof?
Honestly speaking, government need to do more than they're doing. Speaking is one, action is two. We must have a determination. We must have the will, the commitment to bring into concrete reality what God is placing before us. That's what I teach here, the power of vision. When you discover what God has created you to become, you must have the commitment, the willpower to bring it to pass. So the government on their part must go the extra mile I'm happy with my friends, some of the governors that are sending people to say to me, we need to begin to plan to see how I can move my state forward. That's where to go. And each government must be committed to the actualization of the process. It's not only for making policies. Action speaks louder than intention. If you don't take the right step, okay, you will not get it right. I always say to people, when you know that you have the capacity and you begin to work on that capacity, you deploy yourself to it, the capacity will give you results. Everything we do we must see positive results. On the side of government, they will give themselves a map. In the next 1 or 2 years, I want to be the center of cassava production. Do you know, sir? Nigeria is the world's largest producer of cassava, followed by some countries like Thailand. Yet, Nigeria do not export those cassava. Only Thailand and few others are exporting cassava. And we're supposed to make billions of dollars from cassava. A nation of this nature, we really have to go back and say to ourselves, God, have mercy. Help us. No state in Nigeria is not blessed. Every state in Nigeria is blessed. And I can tell you, if we harness these blessings, our children will have no business roaming around the street looking for job, going out of the country. Where are you going to? The country you are going to is not better than Nigeria in terms of natural resources God has blessed us with. Let's go back the route. It's not late. We will succeed.
Prof, you're contributing tremendously to employment in the country. What's the size of your present enrollment for employment in your place? Let's know how much you are contributing to the country in terms of unemployment.
Thank you very much. We have
we hope that we've been able to re-establish contact again with Professor to join us back on the program. Okay, glad we have you. Yeah, Professor, yes. What's the size of your present farm like?
Okay, thank you very much. We have almost getting to 1,750 hectares of land, and we have permanent staff of almost 500, and then ad hoc staff in the farm that work with us about 1,000. And we work together as a team to be able to harness what we are producing and process it, and then be able to sell. So I believe if every state can engage in this process, I can tell you, take all the list of the unemployed youth in your state, bring them for training, empower them in agriculture, open field, poultry. I can tell you, we have no business with unemployment in this country. People will be coming here to look for jobs. And I'm happy to let you know that we are almost succeeding at that by ensuring that what we are doing is something people are appreciating. Nobody comes to this farm and go back without doing something. I challenge you, I challenge the stars, I challenge your strength, and I'm able to pull you out from where you are. Let me tell you, in this farm, God is able to open the door of visibility. That's what we're doing.
Finally, Professor, you talked about training. Tell us your training activities so that, is it compulsory that if you train, the person must stay with you, or what other training method are you putting to help the society in terms of giving back to the society?
Thank you very much. Our training model is simple. You can enroll to spend 2 weeks with us here. After training you, you are not staying with me, you go back to your state. And then the state governor provides the land, and we can provide the implements or input to help him, and we can supervise. And the beauty of our hours is that everyone we train here will make sure that before you leave, your mind is focused on what you want to achieve. So we don't train, we only train to keep people who want to work with us, but we train to give to the states. Every state we train, we release the people to them, and then we have a kind of MOU where we can become their off-takers. Whatever they produce, we can.
Professor John Kennedy Okpara, the Managing Director of CSS, joining us live, giving us updates on what he has been able to do with his team in having an answer to the present economic crisis in the country, where both governments are crying and the citizens are protesting all over the country for food insecurity. He has been telling us what he is doing and, of course, how Nigerians can come out of this major challenge. Well, that's how far we can go on to this edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV, right here in Nigeria's capital city. Our guest has been the former Executive Secretary of the Christian Pilgrimage Board, Professor John O'Kennedy Okpara, who joined us live from his farm, showing us how he has been doing this, and we do hope that he has turned his sabbatic to something very, very productive, and this it's helping the country. Until we come your way again for another interesting edition of the program, Midday Discourse on Global TV, my name is Clinton Agbo saying, do have a wonderful stay, and of course, please try and implement. Grow a crop behind you, have a fish, and see what to do. Get a chicken, of course you could have some eggs. That's the wise words from Professor Kennedy Okpara. Enjoy the rest of the day.